How to kitchen cupboards.
We're going to do a series on this client that we assisted. That is a caterer, and you can see how we utilize the old kitchen now in order to make it very modern and obviously ample space for her to do her lovely work. So first we're going to apologize for the footage now because this was in the archives. It was done quite a few years back. The thing is, Facebook and YouTube all uses different aspect ratios, as well as TikTok, which is all vertical compared to YouTube, which is landscape. And we obviously want to utilize the space as best that we can in this editing app so that we don't have images coming out too small, difficult for you to see. So here you're looking at basically the carcass being hung, and you can see the nice stove the client has there now compared to the old one. This one is 900 millimeters, and you should always work in millimeters, and the old stove was about 600. That is your standard stove that you get, or oven, that fits into your cupboard and also with a hob on top. So this is a gas stove, and we're going to show you in the rest of the videos on how the gas was installed, how the plumbing was done, how the electrical was done, the tiling, and so on. But first we're going to show you the cupboards and how the job came together nicely, and then we're going to go back to break down everything of how it came to this point. So you can see the nice space to pack your wine and so on, and beautiful baskets for your vegetables. You have a nice pantry cupboard from ground to ceiling, nice display, glass cabinets over there. So basically we design cupboards to standard height, and you can see this cupboard with a gap on top. We can either design it like that, or we can obviously design it to the ceiling where it closes that gap. So basically the height from ground to the top of your counter, the bottom cupboards, would be 900, and then you have a space of 600, and then your top cupboards will then start from there, which is usually 900 long. So those are according to standard measurements, and obviously the gap on top, you need to make a plan. You can either just close it like you saw how we did on our cupboards. Sometimes we can make it custom for you and make the cupboards a bit longer, and then that gap will be smaller. Here you can see also how we utilize the old cupboards for the clients so that they could still make food there and so on. Like we said, it's a caterer and you can never have too little space. So basically, like I said, with a gap on top, you can, in this case now, there will be cornice that will be fitted, and basically this will then just close that gap on top, make it narrower. We could make it longer for you, closer to that, but then you can either have now more rows of packing space. The more rows you have, the narrower it will be, and that is why we obviously had 2 rows in this case. The client wanted big space in their shelves, so you can decide if you obviously want more space and so on. But in terms of making the cupboards longer, this will require more wood, more color in that case, and obviously more sheets, making the price more. And this is the puzzle that will definitely be built. You can see the wood gets delivered, protected and so on with rain or anything, so the job can carry on. And you can see the more space the better. Obviously organizing the puzzles here, putting things together, and starting slowly but surely with assembly. Yeah, my good friend at the time, Theo, we're busy analyzing, attacking how we can approach the situation. And obviously he's on to better things in terms of work and so on, and we don't mind that at the moment. People come and people go. You can see how happy he was while he was with us, and anybody who comes and work at Omamin will definitely enjoy themselves. So you can see how nicely the fridge was boxed in, and now you're looking at the top cupboards being assembled. And there is a stove that we spoke about that is a bit wider, 900 millimeters. And this cupboard will be fitted basically on top, and that's the nice pantry cupboard that will be used. And you can see you can pack quite a lot of things in that cupboard. And later on in the videos, you will definitely see how these cupboards are all nicely fit together and obviously packed fully. This is part 1. We're busy with part 2. The videos is too long. That's why we have to separate it like this. So we will show you videos on plumbing. You can see the Petri dish over there, or prep bowl. And you can see the nice packing space for the pantry cupboard. This was the client's favorite cupboard. And also there are nice baskets over there for your vegetables. And you can see how nicely those corner cupboards are designed for ergonomics, no wasted space. So like we said again, on top now you can use Cornish, and this will then make that gap on top of that plank a bit narrower, making the look a bit nicer. But this on top can be, you can see how skewed that ceiling over there is. So the top plank and so on to fit this built in, you know, it could take a day on its own just to do that. So that is why most cupboard installers won't install that. They would rather end the cupboards off like there as you see it, and not fit the top plank you see. So obviously you pay for this quality, and if you want it built in, you pay for it. We can do it for you. It can take a day on its own just to do that, but we don't mind, because that is what the client wants, and the client is always right. Here you're looking at the cutout that was done for the zinc. And like we said again, we will show you the plumbing videos going forward. We are just showing you those photos from start to finish, and videos as well, so that you can see what went into this. There you're looking at the different countertops that was available and still is, even better now, because remember this was done quite a few years back. I would say about 3 or 4 years. So obviously we are improved, we are better. Give us a call, give us a try, and we will show that to you. And here I'm allowed access behind the scene, because I come here so often and I cut the wood by my sources, and we check, make sure everything is perfect. And you can see here how they cut it on proper machines, and they edge it on proper machines so that you get quality. So they allow me access behind the scenes to take footage for you guys, so that I can show you these things. And in the later videos or part 2, you will see more of this.